Welcome to the DutchTechOnHeels podcast, where we spotlight people, leaders shaping the tech scene. I'm Jennifer Delano, I'm the founder of DutchTechOnHeels, and I'm your host. Today, we have a very interesting guest. His name is Gideon Jason, and we record from the podcast studio of Hague Tech in a special edition. It's called the Tech Fest edition. Um, who is Gideon?
Yeah, good question. I would describe myself as a person who's always been very curious, very uh, a person who asks questions and tries to find answers himself. A very, in Dutch you would say brutaal, eigenwijs, and he thinks he knows the answer to certain things, and I think that's why I became an entrepreneur.
So, what is it that you do?
Yeah, so 4 years ago I started Fledger, which is a startup focused on legal tech. We met basically at the Hague Tech ecosystem. So I guess we're a story of really a romantic story of how four founders met at the Hague Tech, where they were by chance. And we were there, and I was actually doing an internship back then at the Hague Tech.
Wow.
I was then assistant community manager. And I was here because I just wanted to learn from other entrepreneurs. I wanted to be an entrepreneur, but I didn't get anything valuable from my college studying entrepreneurship. It sucked. I have to be honest. The Hague University wasn't really a good study. But doing an internship, I just knew that getting real experience being next to entrepreneurs, next to founders, could give me real experience. And that's what I met my other founders. And what we're doing right now is providing legal AI tools for law firms.
Great. It's one big commercial for DA Tech, the place where you meet founders.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's great. And you were at Tech Fest. Can you tell me what brought you there?
Yes, of course. Well, first of all, it coincided with the new building, right? We decided to stay at the Hague Tech. We really liked the ecosystem, and TechFest basically was also a celebration of the new building of the Hague Tech. And I just really wanted to be there because I was really appreciative of my time in Hague Tech. Furthermore, we grew as a company. We really matured, and Giles and I, basically my co-founder, we believed that it was time to really show the rest what we're doing. And many people still knew us as the first project we initially started as, which was completely different, which was focused on employment law. We were helping startups to basically automate the issuance of stock option plans to employees. Basically, employees can get shares of the company that they work in. And we automated that process, which was really slow in Europe. It just really sucked. And we created a legal tech tool to automate that process. And that's how everyone in the Hague Tech knew us as. But we pivoted. We really completely changed our idea, and many people didn't even know that. So essentially, being at TechFest was also our opportunity to show the rest what we're actually doing right now, and many people were actually shocked.
Shocked. So a lot of
Yes.
reactions.
Yeah, for sure. Because initially, what we were doing is we are competing with lawyers, right? We were saying to lawyers, we can do this better than you guys. You guys are too slow. You guys are too expensive. And it was essentially when one of our investor, our AI investor, Herman Kienhuis, asked us and said, Gideon, why are you competing with lawyers? Why aren't you talking with them? And I said, that's crazy. We're not going to talk with lawyers. They're our competitors. And he said, just talk with one law firm. And that's what we did. And when we talked with one law firm, the law firm said, Gideon, we can really use this. And eventually we landed one law firm as a client. And that was as much revenue as 100 startups we were helping at the same time. That was when we knew we were going to have to change.
So that was a learnful experience. And during TechFest, you presented like what you learned, what happened, where you're at, what you're looking for, and you got a lot of response. That's great. Did you also learn a lot of the other speakers?
Oh, absolutely. Actually, I think I learned a lot even from people that came there. We even established certain partnerships, which I cannot name yet, from people that came there that already know a lot about AI, that even train other people in AI. And we're even thinking of how can we collaborate with training other people in AI and us providing a solution to lawyers to use AI. Because many lawyers are traditional, right? They're very old people. They like to work with paper. How the heck are they going to use AI eventually? And to do that, we're going to need other partners to actually teach them about how to use AI. And that's not really our, I'd say, our strong point. We're really good at making this product, but we met partners that can actually help us to get there. So I would actually say that I learned maybe the most from people who were just participating there and listening to our lecture.
That sounds like it was a great festival, and you're looking forward to the next one.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we even invited a lot of lawyers that didn't know us yet and we wanted to hear about our product. And that was an opportunity for us just to present ourselves to a new public as well.
That's great. What appeals you the most in your work in tech?
Right. I'd say making impact and seeing how an old process that used to not function properly now all of a sudden becomes efficient, fast, and enjoyable. For example, with lawyers, what I really enjoy is that to become a lawyer, you have to be skillful, right? You have to study. It takes a lot of time, but you're still spending so much time on mundane work, on administrative work, on work that doesn't need you as a skillful lawyer. And that part of the boring legal work we're trying to automate. So now lawyers can actually be more enjoyable while working. And seeing that impact, seeing how much time they're saving, how much cost they're saving, and seeing the impact that you can make perhaps through Europe wide is something I'm really passionate about, especially in Europe. Europe needs to innovate a lot. And if I can impact that, that would make me happy.
How do you think the European tech will look in 10 years?
Gosh, I'm not that optimistic. I hope Europe will learn from whatever's happening in the US, in China. Uh, just being the number one in making rules is not really a good thing to lead in. To be fair, our first investor was a US investor. I don't like saying this because I'm proud to be Dutch, I'm proud to be European, but investors in Netherlands don't like to take risk.
Not enough.
Not enough.
Yeah.
Yes. Of course, we have good Dutch investors like Herman Kienhuis and Maurice Verwey as well. But in general, Dutch investors, European investors, they're not risk takers. And that's something that we, as startup, we're really suffering under.
Yeah, because they move to the USA where they can a lot easier find the investors they're looking for.
Yes, yes. I mean, the thought even crossed our mind, unfortunately. But for now, we're going to stay in the Netherlands, hopefully.
I'm happy to hear that. You're working with a team.
Yes.
How is the male female ratio of the
As
team?
well, actually, I'm quite happy that we're a team of 9 people, and 4 out of the 9 people are female. Uh, they're really strong leaders in the company. For example, we have 2 legal engineers in the company who really lead us. For example, in the product development, saying like, "Hey, think about this. The lawyer thinks like this," and even the culture is really, I would say, dominated by the females in our company. So I'm really proud about that. And myself, I'm leading recruitment as well. I would love to get more female tech in as well. So I'm doing my best to get that.
Yeah, well, that sounds absolutely great. I meet people who have a total different view and total different story and ratio. So I'm really happy that you're focused on diversity and you're really taking care of it. It's really important. Um, I'm also wondering, you are running your company. It's, I guess, more than a full-time job. Do you still have hobby or interesting of time? Do you make time for your hobbies and interest in addition to your work in tech?
Yes, it varies. It varies. Until recently, I was singing actually in my spare time, and I love to dance. I love music, all that stuff. I've been doing that since I was a child as well. Also spirituality as well. When I'm done with work, I try to really get grounded, right? And I usually get that spirituality from my father's side, who has a Jewish background. I try to get a lot of spirituality and groundedness from that as well, especially in my busy work schedule.
That sounds beautiful. Um, and so you're also a big networker. That's something you like to do. Where do people know you from? Where do you appear?
Right. Most people actually know me from attending legal tech events. For example, Lexpo in Amsterdam is the biggest legal tech event in Europe. I'm also going to UK, to London, to talk with law firms there. So people usually see me with a big afro. So usually people just recognize me right away. They can find me on LinkedIn because they see the afro. So it's a really big plus point to have this hair and be really
You
easily
can never
recognizable.
change it now.
Exactly. No, I have to keep it. If I go bald, the company loses half of the revenue. Exactly. But that's where people know me from, and I usually I'm usually the first contact point of law firms and anyone who wants to use our service.
So a lot of very detailed networking places you're going to. Do you also go to entrepreneurial networks or something with a
Yes.
broader spectrum?
I used to. Not as much anymore. But thinking back, I really had a lot of good moments with like founder meetups, especially sometimes you feel alone as a founder. And just talk with other founders just encourages you, really. And I actually even landed my first customer through such founder meetings. So it is really beneficial.
It's beneficial.
Yeah.
If someone is listening who's looking for a way to get started, maybe has an idea or just is looking for a career in tech, where would you advise that person to get started with?
Right. Well, right now, I'm just speaking from my own personal experience,
Mhm.
right? As a business person working in Fledger, I would say do what I did. I mean, I did an internship in the startup ecosystem. I had to get inspiration. And I think if you want to be a founder, it's really important to immerse yourself in an ecosystem with other founders. Go to the Hague Tech, go to, I don't know, go to other co-founder or let's say co-working space where you can meet other founders. It's so important that you're not the only founder in your environment because it can feel really lonely. And if you're with other founders, believe me, it's gonna impact really good.
Yeah, so go meet people, go to places where other founders are, so you get inspired. I think that's a great advice. If people like to connect with you, or like to join to one of the events you're going to or speaking, how can people connect with you?
Yes, well, I'm very active on LinkedIn. Of course, I encourage people as well who are very interested to hear about our legal AI product to visit Fledger, Fledger. Many people confuse it with Fledger, the hotel,
Yeah.
but it's different. It's with the N and G. And for the lawyers who really want to test our product and test how AI can impact their work, we're giving free access to our product for a few weeks just to test it out, see how it impacts your work in March and in April. So reach out to LinkedIn, especially the website, and I'm very happy to just show the product and hopefully test it out themselves as well.
That's great. Thank you so much for joining the Dutch Tech on Heels podcast and sharing about your
Thank you.
tech journey. If you enjoyed today's episode, hit subscribe and leave a review. Stay connected on social media. Join us at X, Instagram, or LinkedIn, Dutch Tech on Heels. Who are the leaders you like us to feature next? Send us a message, let us know, and your suggestions guide our future conversations. Stay inspired, stay connected, and until next time, this is Dutch Tech on Heels signing off.